Welcome to episode 4 of the Today I Played podcast, where you will always, and I mean always, get more than just a tip. I'm Senpai Shiba, and today I have been playing a couple of games. 3 games, mainly 2. One is Fortnite. You never get tired of Fortnite. You never stop playing Fortnite. It's a live service game. You get used to it. Only way you're gonna stop playing Fortnite is if you quit forever. I don't see it happening, but you know. But the main 2 games I've been playing. The first one is Crisis Core, Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion. I finally got a chance to sit down and stick my teeth into the meat of this game. Pause. But yeah, I'm gearing up for Final Fantasy VII Reunion coming out in February. I'm super excited for that. So I decided, hey, let's go back and see what Zach was up to. Final Fantasy Crisis Core is definitely a handheld game. And definitely a remaster. You can tell by some of the jankiness of the world. The sky looks terrible from time to time. Like it looks like a a Windows Movie Maker fucking like Windows screen or something like that. But all in all, I'm enjoying it for what it is. Zack is still like a lovable character. Midgar is still beautiful because they're using the Final Fantasy remake assets to like, you know, enhance the visuals of that. That looks great. Zack model looks great. Stuff like that. Stuff that should look great. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, the story so far, I'm not that deep into it. I've been doing a lot of side stuff, and I feel like that's the chunk of it because like you can tell that it's meant for be a handheld game because a lot of the, you know, jankiness comes from like, hey, I talk to you, I get a mission, I run back to the save point, and I start the mission, and then once I complete that little, like, I don't know, like level, it's like, they're very short, like maybe like 1 or 2 minutes to beat the levels. You go back out and you unlock another level of that same like caliber or from that same person, and you do that like 4 or 5 times. It's very handheld PSP like, and it's cool. You know, don't get me wrong. I enjoy the old school style of gaming, the old school style of grinding and stuff like that. But man, some of them like random encounters you have are like so annoying when you're like looking for a chest, because there's like a couple of chests on every level, and when you're looking for a chest, man, and they keep popping up and you gotta constantly fight them and you can't escape sometimes, it gets annoying. But you know, that's the old school jank that I'm used to and that I want from time to time, so I'm dealing with it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm like 5 to 6 hours in. You know, I'll let y'all know if I'm crying at the end, but we'll see when we get there. The next game is one I want to talk about heavy, and I mean heavy. The next game is American Arcadia. Let me tell y'all, if y'all are looking for something to play over this holiday break or just in any point in time, give this game a shot. American Arcadia was such a delight, such a delight. My friend recommended it to me. I didn't know what it was, but I'm glad I gave it a shot, and y'all should give it a shot as well. American Arcadia, man, what can I say, bro? It is, let's say, it's a 2.5D platformer. Yeah, kind of platformer where you play as this character named Trevor Hills, and he lives in this city called Arcadia. It's just called Arcadia, and he has a mundane life, you know. Wakes up, goes to work, says hi to the neighbor, you know, a mundane job, and it's with a best friend that he worked with, the normal stuff. But what he doesn't know, and what she finds out, is that he's living inside a bubble, and inside this bubble is a TV show called American Arcadia. And American Arcadia is basically shown to everyone outside the bubble how the people that's living in there is like a 70s, like permanent 70s looking world where everybody is just like, you know, the disco style, the sweaters and the thick mustaches. The technology is all old school. So they've been stuck in this one time period for so long. And outside the world, it's 2023, and they just watching them. And like everybody has their own like live stream, and the most popular characters are the most popular in that world as well. So yeah, they're living their lives without knowing that they're being watched, laughed at, and being enjoyed by people outside that bubble. And now, outside that bubble, you play as another character, and when you play as this character, it is a first-person game, and this character is named, I believe her name is Angela. Yeah, her name is Angela. I said that wrong again, Angela, and she is trying to break out Trevor and stop them from being like trapped in there. Like they're basically trapped in there without their knowledge. And she wants to break the loop, break the cycle, and make them free. So she informs Trevor that, you know, he's inside the thing, blah, 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 and he needs to escape before they send him somewhere else because he has no viewers. And the TV show is losing money and they need viewers. And the people that's getting the least amount of views are being sent somewhere or basically being killed. So they come in and be like, hey, you're Trevor? Yeah, we need you to come with us real quick. And so basically he just starts running and trying to escape from this freaking 70s world while figuring out different puzzles, platforms, and she's on the outside trying to break them out with different puzzles and stuff like that as well. It's very, very well done. It has a lot of heart in it. The main character is voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, I believe, whose voice is just fantastic. He does a great job emoting, getting very emotional at certain times. And you can feel like a lot of love and care is put into this world and like story and puzzles, because some of the puzzles I was stuck for a little while because I was just being dumb. But yeah, it's a very puzzle focused game with a 2.5D platformer on one side and a 3D world on the other side, and you're just walking around solving stuff. And it's very enjoyable. Like, I might get into some spoiler territory. If you don't want to watch that, that's fine. But or I might not do that. I want you to play it. I won't get too heavy in spoilers. I want y'all to play it. But this game, man, like, so much life was brought into these characters. Like I felt for Trevor at a certain point when he was just like, why is this happening to me? Like, why do I have to be killed because my life is just regular and like not out of the ordinary? Like it was like something like, you know, that everybody can relate to. Like, why am I being punished for something that I have no control over? So that was fun and interesting and introspective. It has a lot of trippy moments as well towards the end when he's like going through a certain situation, I won't say, but he's going through a certain situation and he's trying to figure out what's going on and escape, and you platforming and trying to, you know, get out the jam basically. One thing I could say is that the creativity of some of like the transitions, like when you run in from one area to area from another, it can immediately cut to like you're in a totally different environment. Like for example, at one segment it's like you're running through like TVs, and sometimes you'll be upside down on the top of the TV. Sometimes you'll be below it. The people in this world are going from a 3D plane so that they can run at you from any direction. So like while you're trying to run only back and forth, they're coming down from forward, back, left, right, up, down, you know? So stuff like that is also interesting how they, you know, it is a 2D game to a certain extent, but the world is still developed in a 3D way, 2.5D. But I like the aesthetic, the world design, the art style is amazing. Like the whole 70s art style and like the stark color differences between everything from the inside the bubble and outside the bubble are amazing. Why everything is still using VHSs outside the world, I don't know too. Like, it's weird. The villain is also fucking, like, I won't say charismatic, but interesting, and she's fucking annoying as well. So that makes a great villain. Her name is Vivian. And yeah, you're just trying to solve a lot of different mysteries, and they all connect at the end. And basically, you get a very satisfying quote from Trevor at the end, and it makes everything feel complete. God, I love this game like a lot. Like it's one of those indie games that I feel like deserves more respect. I feel like maybe because it was like, I think it came out last month in November. A lot of people didn't talk about it because, like, you know, a lot of good games came out this year. I'm not surprised people didn't talk about this game. But now that the year is winding down, less games are coming out for the next like 1 or 2 months. Like, I think people should play this. Like, I just remember like panicking, just trying to solve these puzzles because some of them are like on timers. I'm just panicking, trying to get things done properly, and to see it all come together towards the end, to see the connecting pieces over time, to see the different gameplay changes as well. Because sometimes you're in the car, sometimes you're running, you're in 3D space trying to like put together like sound waves and like different like you're trying to find different papers and codes to like unlock doors and stuff like that. Amazing stuff. Amazing and very entertaining, and it deserves your time because not that long either. It's about 8 hours. It could be shorter than that because I was like stuck at certain points, but it deserves your time. American Arcadia is great, and it's one of those games that I probably remember for years because I enjoyed it immensely. But yeah, that's all I've been playing this week, and I feel like it's not a lot, to be honest. I feel like I'll be playing more. I'll just be getting distracted by other stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I focus on what I want to focus on for now. I feel like that's the best thing with me. I don't know about y'all. I get overwhelmed when I'm playing stuff at the same time, like 5 or 6 different games. So I like to focus stuff on like 1 or 2 at a time to like, beat them. Because I realized that I used to love beating games all the time, but these last couple years, I used to just play them and then not beat them. So I'm trying to get rid of that. I'm just trying to focus, beat a game, go to the next one. Beat a game, go to the next one. Unless I don't like it, and I will drop your ass. Don't get me wrong. Ain't no wrong with dropping the game you don't fuck with. But that's besides the point. The main focus of this podcast is I was thinking about the best Christmas games. Now, you might be thinking, oh, it's like the Gristo Christmas type game? No. I was thinking about games that had Christmas in them. The games that had Christmas in them are what I'm thinking about. Like, it's not the main focus, but a big chunk of it has that Christmas feel, and it gives you that sense of like, holiday cheer or whatever they want to call it. Whatever they call it. I don't know. I've never had holiday cheer, but yeah, I'm a Scrooge by humbug ass. You know what I'm saying? Shut up. But anyway, so I have a few games that I've been thinking about that I think have that Christmas feel. And I'm gonna start off with Batman Arkham Origins. I think everybody knows this is the redhead stepchild of the Arkham series. It's not better than Asylum, City, or Night, in my opinion. But it's still great, and it's still a Batman game, and the combos that you want. It's a little less like fluid, and it's a little more stiff than the other Arkham games when it comes to combat. But all in all, come on now. Do you see the snow, the Christmas lights? Batman, he's younger. He's trying to figure out what's going on, trying to figure out what Batman is for him. You know what I'm saying? It has one of the best moments, I believe. One of the best moments in gaming for me. Like, I feel like the Deathstroke fight in that game is one of the best fights in the series. So like, that's one thing. But also, it's the holiday cheer. Batman swinging around being a little Scrooge while everybody trying to be happy in Gotham. Still gotta say the day no matter what. Come on now. You can't, get past that. And it's I saw somebody say it's like Die Hard. Like, people consider Die Hard a Christmas movie, and the answer is yes. It is a Christmas movie, and it is a Christmas game. The next game on this list is one that's in my heart, and I'm probably gonna talk about at the end. But Kingdom Hearts 2, man, going into the Nightmare Before Christmas world, getting the little Santa outfit when you go inside the Santa Village area. It's crazy. It's wonderful seeing Jack Skellington dress up and basically fighting Heartless in that world. Like, Kingdom Hearts nails what I think a lot of games don't. And it's just like the natural feel of the world and the environment that you're in. And it has so many different ones. It nails that environment. Like, even though in Kingdom Hearts 3, I got so annoyed at the Toy Story music, they nailed the Pixar look, vibe, feels. They're so good at taking you from a world and throwing you into a different world, and you basically feel like you belonged here the entire time. Like, it doesn't feel jarring. It doesn't feel like out of the ordinary. It doesn't feel like they didn't nail it properly. It feels right. And the Christmas in this world, man, the little asshole kids trying to stop Christmas. Jack Skellington doesn't understand what Christmas really means. Y'all seen the movie. It nails it, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. And it's one of those Christmas games that you can replay again, because Kingdom Hearts is a very replayable game. I don't think a lot of people realize that, but the Kingdom Hearts games are very replayable because you still love Disney stuff, so you're just gonna get that vibe. People rewatch Disney movies all the time. So Kingdom Hearts same way. The next one on the list is Miles Morales. Spider-Man Miles Morales. I know, like, it's not technically an origin story, but it's an origin story. And it's not focused on Christmas, because, of course, why would it be? But swinging around, I believe Brooklyn, and swinging around, like, seeing, like, the snow, the lights in the city, everybody, like, preparing to, like, celebrate. It's a vibe, you know what I'm saying? And this game came out around that time. I believe it came out in November-ish. So they understood what they were doing. Like, this game is meant to be played, like, when you in your house, it's cold outside, You're under your cover, you got the heat on a little bit, and you just vibe and swinging through swinging through the city. Even though the ending kind of sad as hell. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, I don't know. It's some Christmas cheer now. You know what I'm saying? It's a little, just a little bit of Christmas cheer, with surrounded by Spider-Man going through terrible times. Because Spider-Man will never be happy. I am sorry. there was a rare time in Spider-Man's life where he's happy. If we're watching him, reading his comments, watching his movies, playing his games, those times will never be happy. But when he's like not being played or watched, he's probably having a decent life. But I don't know. Miles Morales, definitely a Christmas game in my opinion. Another big one is Parasite Eve, an old school on PS1. The beginning of the game, oh my god, like I believe the vibe of that game still like sticks with me to this day. Like it's such a like old school style of like portraying like the scenes of the city, the opera house, the music, the way they did stuff back in the day. They don't do it like now because you have way more technology, way better things you can show something. But the way they showed it back then, because they were limited, oh my god, the sound as well, like everything about that game's world is wintry, like mellowness, besides like fighting like the enemies and stuff like that. But it's such a vibe, you know what I'm saying? I keep saying vibe, but you're gonna have to forgive me. But it's such a like Christmassy like vibe. And walking around, the music is also great in the game. It's not Christmas music, but like it helps with the snow and like the variety of environments you're gonna go to. Walking through the park with the snow as well, like driving down in a cop car with the snow around you and stuff like that. They nailed the aesthetic of a New York City surrounded by snow. And yeah, it's a Christmas game and you're gonna have to deal with it. Next, of course, this one is the easy layup. Bully. The Christmas time of Bully is still amazing. It still feels like you can still be a jerk. It still feels like that, bully game that you wanted, but just with a Christmas head on top of it. I believe the scholarship edition gave you more missions, I believe, to do during that time period, because it wasn't a lot of missions during the base game. But you helping the drunk Santa and stuff like that, still on top of roofs, just throwing slingshots and snowballs at people. What else do you want in a bully game? It's amazing time, and it's every holiday doing the bully. It's amazing. Like Halloween as well. Halloween is so great too. But I think my favorite time was Christmas, because I like riding my bike in the street when it was snowing and stuff like that. So yeah, Bully is a Christmas game as well. Then another one is The Division. Talk about a city that's just permanently stuck in like Christmas because of like the spread of the disease, and like people were like can't go in that city anymore because it's fucked. But you still see snow on the ground, lights up everywhere. It's very empty, vacant, but disgusting because it's filled with trash stuff as well. But yeah, Division is a fun game that's good until the end game, in my opinion. Like I love playing the stories of both Divisions, and then when I got to the end game, it wasn't for me. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But all in all, the Division gives you that same sense where you're just walking around in this snowy environment, shooting up people though. But the vibe is there. There's some Christmas lights around there. There's some Christmas lights over there somewhere. But last but certainly not least, is Bayonetta 2. Now hear me out. Hear me out. I know Bayonetta 2 only has basically Christmas in like the first like 10 minutes of the game, but fuck you. That game is amazing. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Bayonetta was walking down the street tall as hell. She is tall as hell. With the gifts, you see my black man with the Santa outfit on, you know what I'm saying? You get the vibe. You see it's Christmas. But, it all goes to shit when the angels and demons show up, as usual. So, yeah, this was a reach. I think out of all of them on the list, this one is definitely the most reachy one. Because, you don't really get to enjoy the Christmassy vibe for that long. But, fuck you. This game is amazing. You should play it anytime of the year, but Christmas is here, so play it during Christmas. And yeah, I think that's done my best Christmas game so far. Like, it's not like I could easily do like the Grinch Stole Christmas type games, the bad holiday games like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer game that came out on Wii, stuff like that. Like it's a lot of terrible Christmas games, but it's some good ones like Die Hard. Like I'm looking for those like Die Hard type games where like it's technically Christmas around you, but the main focus ain't Christmas. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got any more ideas like that, let me know. I'm pretty sure there's a few games that I missed, but let me know. Now, this part, I don't know what to call this segment because I just be reading stuff on the internet and be getting angry. I'm not necessarily angry, but I disagree about a lot of different things that I read, especially on Twitter. Twitter is a place where people just post their opinions and think they're right and don't want to have a conversation or a disagreement about it because they're just gonna yell at you and like, you know, block you. But there's also some good topics that I found as well. So I'm just gonna run through these and we're gonna, you know, see which ones like, you know, I really was like into, you know what I'm saying? Now, I think this is a good one. Games you liked as a kid, but now have aged horribly. Now, I'm gonna say it again because I feel like y'all have a few that y'all feel the same way about as well. Games you liked as a kid, but has now aged horribly. I have a couple that came to mind. One was Army Men Stardust Heroes on the Nintendo 64. I tried to play that game recently, and it controls like a fucking truck. Like a shooter game on N64 is crazy. Which is also my second answer, which is GoldenEye 007. I'm pretty sure that game plays like dog shit today if you play it on this intended console in the intended way. I'm pretty sure it plays like dog shit. But because, you know, back in the day, we didn't really have that many options to like, you know, do it properly, it was one of the best shooters of all time. But now, looking back on it, it don't really play that well. I still think like if it had better controls, it'd be one of those like, you know, old school like Quake, Doom type games where you still understand what they were going for. You can still appreciate it. But it's so clunky now to play. Our job is a fucking cheat, and if you played him, you were a fucking jerk, and you deserve to be beat to death. But you know, GoldenEye is just like, I will never ever say like, oh, GoldenEye is a bad game. But control wise, you know what I'm saying? Every first person shooter or third person shooter on N64 and PS1 when it didn't have the dual sticks. Like playing those games like now, you're gonna have a terrible time. Like I know people complain about tank controls and like the Resident Evil game style stuff, but there are even worse first-person shooters that only use the D-pad. And using the D-pad to move and turn the camera is disgusting. Is disgusting. Like I'm trying to think of someone on PS2 that I also played that's like aged horribly. Let me think for a second. I have one that came to mind. I have one that came to mind. It's Killer 7. Like I love like the weirdness, the aesthetic, the, you know, I love the whole concept of Killer 7. But playing it though, it don't feel that fun to play. It's one of those artsy games I like. It's not like, you know, the boring RC. It's the, you know, over the top RC that I like, because I like the No More Hero games as well. It's over the top, in your face as well. But that game just does not play well. Like you just run straight, and then you have a point where you can like turn like certain corners, but not every corner. It plays clunky, and I never was like, you know, felt like I had full control of what I wanted to do. But back in the day, I loved that game. Like it was an amazing experience as a kid, and I will never like, you know, shit on that. But Killer 7 does not play well. Say maybe if I played it on PC, it'll play better. But I don't know if they got PC control. They might want you to just play a controller. I don't know. But that's one that came to my mind. But also on PS3, I had an obsession with Def Jam Icon, because I'm a huge fan of Fight for New York on PS2. But man, because I haven't played it myself recently, but rewatching footage of Def Jam Icon, oh my god, they ruined that fucking game. I know it wasn't the same developers who created the combat system for Fight for New York, but god damn, like, what is this record scratching combo system you have? Like, what is that? Like, why is everything exploding? Why is like the character models look disgusting? Nobody looks like exactly how they should. Like it was just a cash grab of a cash grab, and it's sad because Def Jam Fight for New York is one of the best fighting games of all time. I don't care what nobody say. It is what it is. It might not be the most balanced, but it's one of the most fun. And to go from that to Icon, man. And I know probably there was a lot of people like first like Def Jam fighting game. Even Vendetta is good. It's more wrestling instead of fighting, but it's still good. Icon, there's no value in Icon. Like no value whatsoever. Unless you want to laugh at the story. I know they got Anthony Anderson in it, if you want to do that. But other than that, nah. Like that game is worthless now. Like that game really aged poorly. It probably wasn't good when it first came out, to be honest. I had rose tinted goggles on or something. I was just obsessed with that game as a kid because I love Fight for New York so much. But man, that Icon is one of the worst games. So yeah. But moving on, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this is one that I had. I don't know if I got a strong thoughts, but I think a lot of people would agree. Sony no longer calls games with $100 million budget as AAA games. I don't know if this is a real quote or not, but it's just a thought that came to my head. I know game budgets are getting bigger and bigger, so it's just a thought. So they don't consider those big budget; they consider those medium budget games because the high cost of games has inflated. Let me tell you something. Why does every game need to be this blockbuster spectacle? Hear me out. Not every game needs to be this huge big deal. Like, especially from our established publishers. Like I get it, they the big boys, they gotta, show like how far they can push technology, how far they've come on their own platforms like PlayStation, Xbox. They gotta push their own platforms to a certain extent. But not every game has to be this expensive, open world, like deeply intricate like art piece. It can literally just be a fun gameplay experience. And that's how we get stuff like The Last of Us, like Factions getting canceled because they, were trying to do a lot. And I understand because the idea process of if I'm gonna do it properly and do it the best that I possibly can. I get that. But sometimes a lot of stuff can just be pulled back down to earth and just be, the main focus, which is the gameplay. Like gameplay matters a lot more than graphics for me personally. I think for a lot of people as well. Like you're gonna get the casuals for sure. Like if you're aiming for the casual money, keep doing what you're doing, go ahead. But I think a lot of hardcore people, not even hardcore people, like semi-hardcore people would like a game that plays better more than looks like the peak of the peak. Because once you start doing like the peak of the peak only type stuff, like you get like slogs. Like you get like a beautiful like visual experience and it plays like dog shit most of the time. Like, I don't know. We're in the age where everything is overdone, inflated. People are asking now for like crazy amount of money for just one game. And it's just like, because the games are costing too goddamn much, and every game has to be an open world goddamn game and be 20 hours plus long, and it don't have to be that thing. Just price it accordingly to how much you think it's worth. Like every game has got to be $70. You know what I'm saying? It could be a $50 game and be worth that much money and be valued as well. Like there are publishers out there, I believe Devolver is one of them, who budget their games properly. And it's like you can do the same thing, but as a bigger publisher. But who am I? I know I'm just a guy who prefers gameplay over graphics. I used to be obsessive with graphics when I was a kid. Like, oh, look at that, it looks so gorgeous. They look so realistic. But I realized over time that realistic games have a lot more shortcomings than a game with a decent art style and great gameplay. Like for example, Hades is an amazing game with a great art style and amazing gameplay, but it's not overdone to the point where like you have to spend hundreds of millions on it. No, like what's another example off the top of my head, bro? Like there's like No More Hero type games where like an amazing gameplay experience, like Yakuza games. I'm pretty sure they're not doing that much money on Yakuza games because they already have an amazing engine and they pump those out quite frequently, to be honest. And like those games are still so freaking good. So freaking good. And they look decent as well because they have an amazing art style. Sega games have an amazing art style. Like, from like a game like Binary Domain, that's like a very like mediocre game, but the art style of it is so good because they have an amazing engine and art direction. Like, these games are not like AAA games, but they're like AA games that can hold a candle. Like, they fucked up on some of these games because the gameplay wasn't on point. But a lot of these games have great gameplay, and you don't need hundreds of millions on these games, and then we gotta buy microtransactions and different like bundles so you can get your money back on it because you inflated so much to make a 7 out of 10. Like, I'm sorry, like, I like Forspoken to a certain extent more than other people, but Forspoken was inflated so much graphically to the point where like the gameplay suffered, and you can tell the story and the gameplay suffered, but the visual stuff about it was amazing, but it suffered because of that. Death Stranding, I love Death Stranding, right? But I also know that the gameplay is very straightforward. They didn't like, you know, fuck around with anything else. It's literally packages and how you get around with these packages, right? The directors could have added more stuff to it, cut content that they couldn't add before, but the main focus was simple. I feel like a lot of game publishers just probably have too many different mechanics and stuff going on, and it gets to the point where they gotta like spend hella money to make sure every mechanic is done properly. So that's how you get these inflated budgets. But I think we don't need that. Every game doesn't have to be a blockbuster. I feel like that's my main opinion. Every game does not have to be $100 million blockbuster. We can get some cool, chill games. Let's see. Let me think about some cool, chill games for a second. Hold on. I think I found 2, which came out this year, which makes my point. Remnant 2, which is such an amazing freaking game. Such an amazing freaking game, but it doesn't need that much high budget. Like, it has an amazing art style and it nails it. And it's such a beautiful game that it didn't need $100 million budget to get to the point. And another game like that is Armored Core 6. Armored Core was dead. Armored Core was dead up in the water. This game brought it back to life in an amazing way by nailing this art style, nailing the gameplay, and just focusing and not doing over budget shit and not overspending. Another game, I don't know how much this game costs, so I might be talking out of pocket with this one, but Lies of P was in development for a long time, so it might be, you know, a game that has like a higher budget than a lot of the games. But Lies of P is also a game that has an amazing art style, an amazing world, and it was a AA game. I would say. It's a AAA game now. I guess it's a AAA game. It has, you know, funded behind Xbox now, so I guess it's a AAA game. Yes, this is a game that didn't need an exorbitant amount of money that these developers think they need to make a game. Like, I remember this quote from back in the day when the remake of the first Tomb Raider came out, and they said that it was a failure when it sold, I think, 5 million copies. Like, it sold 5 million copies and it was still considered a failure, bro. That's insane to me. So, like, yeah, my whole thought on that is just the budgets of these games are overdone. That's why people are constantly getting fired and hired, because these games require too much effort and time because they're just inflated. And I feel like we're gonna come to a point where it's all gonna pop at some point. Like, we can't keep going through the same cycle over and over again, expecting a different result. Like, the result is that, yes, these games cost too much. Yes, you should probably manage better. Like, gaming is in a weird spot. I feel like it's in a place where it's the best it's ever been and the worst that it's ever been at the same time. Like, we're getting amazing games. We're getting amazing, like, you know, unique stuff, but we're also getting all the shitty things about gaming that everybody hates constantly. Every game is getting a battle pass. People are getting fired, harassed. Like, it's just a terrible time to, like, you know, have some of the best games come out with failure across them because they didn't reach a certain amount of money they need to make because the budget was 200 million and it sold 10 million copies and it didn't make that budget. Like, come on now, like, budget these games accordingly. Like, it is okay to like take your time and, you know, I don't know, man. I'm just ranting. At this point. I'm just upset, but it's whatever. Another. This is a disgusting hot take I saw. I'm actually fine with GTA 6 costing $100. Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you kidding me? If you give these publishers any type of incentives to raise the cost, they will do it. And they should know, because GTA 5 has nickel and dimed these bastards so much over these years. Like, and GTA Plus only came out like what, 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, something like that. And that's like another subscription on top of people buying shark cards for all these vehicles and weapons and places and blah 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 blah. Now, don't get me wrong, GTA 5 done an amazing job being a live service, keeping that game alive, keeping that game fresh. But the value, how much money they're making off of these people is disgusting. It's really disgusting, to the point where it's like I think GTA Online ruined Rockstar for me personally, because I think their only vision now is the online portion and everything else is just secondary. But maybe that's a Take-Two thing more than the Rockstar developers. But I don't know, man. Like, back to this hot take though, like, there will never be a game. Like, I know the price of games are probably gonna go up again at some point because the world is disgusting. But I don't think there will ever be a game where I will pay $100 for it just to get one game. And that's base. Not like the deluxe. I understand people like collectors, deluxe, and stuff like that. That's fine. You get the bonuses that you want to get. That's fine for me. I'm fine with that. I wouldn't pay for it. I wouldn't pay for it. But I found people wanted that stuff, right? But a base game costing $100, you have to be out of your mind. Like, Bobby Kotick would probably be drooling if he was going to still be, you know, over Activision, because thank God he's going to leave Activision on 29th or something like that. Yeah, December 29th, Bobby Kotick will be gone from Activision. Rest in piss, nigga. I know you're not dying, but go find some piss and rest in it. But, you know, he would be drooling and salivating over that shit. Like I'd probably Randy Pitchford too from Gearbox, because he's a fucking, you know, greedy bastard as well, who enjoys, like, you know, squeeze the pennies out of stuff. Like, these publishers would love nothing more than to squeeze you out of every last cent for the same game you could have paid it for at base. And it's just like, give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Because like, PlayStation increased their price of PlayStation Plus like not too long ago, and niggas didn't complain hard enough. I'm sorry. I am still upset, even though I don't play online like that no more. Like, I play like the free to play games, but that's like, you know, free. You don't gotta worry about PS Plus for that. But the value that they're giving you for the base model of PS Plus is disgusting. For $80. No. I'm sorry, no. You don't deserve that amount of money. You're crazy for something that should be free. PC Online is free. Like, these publishers will not care for your well-being, not care for your proper servers, because they not doing better servers or raising the price. The servers are not getting better when they raise the price. The game does not get better all the time. Sometimes it is the case. But most of the time the game does not get better when the price is higher. It's not. So like, why are you so willing to accept the fact that a game you love will be $100, and you think because the game you love is $100? Like, every game does not need to be $100. That's a trickle down effect. If one person do it, they all gonna do it. I remember when NBA 2K announced that their game was $70, everybody else started doing it. Like, fuck you, bro. And the 2K fans had no other choice, and they just ate it and sucked it up and moved on with their life. Like, come on, bro. We complain about the stupidest shit. We argue about the stupidest shit, and we accept dumb shit like games costing $100. Are you insane, bro? Especially with Game Pass being the thing. Like, I don't know, man. We can get a bigger bang for our buck if we just communicated properly with these publishers
bought what we think is a good deal, like Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate is worth the price. Baldur's Gate is worth the price at base. It's an amazing game. I think Spider-Man is worth the price at base. There are some games out there that are worth the price, no matter how many hours you get out of it, right? But and it's because they treated you properly. They didn't nickel and dime you. They didn't sell you a product that was broken at launch. Like they gave you an experience that you wanted, and they advertised it properly, and you brought it. That's how it should work in consumer and capitalism and stuff like that. But niggas be trying to upcharge everything, trying to get, act like if you can't afford it, you just broke. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, are you making any sense? Like, and the Take-Two owner was already talking about how games should be priced at fucking the amount of time you get out of them. Like, no, that's not how life works. Like, and believe me, once people start charging $100 for it, if that does become the case, piracy would be rampant. Let me tell you something. You think the Nouveau is like, hard to crack down? The Nouveau is a DRM thing that protects games and stuff like that. Let me tell you, if games get to the point where they are like overly expensive, there will be so many people trying to crack the Nouveau games. It would be insane. Like, the Nouveau wouldn't be able to stand a chance for the most part. Like, come on now, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. I think that was the last of my Twitter anger. For now, I'm pretty sure I'll scroll through Twitter tomorrow and see something else. But yeah, stop dick sucking these publishers so much and allowing them to just reach into your pocket and take your money and take more than they probably deserve. Cause I get it, GTA 6 will probably be another 10 plus year game. People will live on that game. People were raised by GTA 5. Like, a lot of these kids were raised on GTA 5. I get it. You're an adult now and you want GTA 6 so bad. But nigga, have a little self-respect. Like, have some self-respect and some decorum or something. Like, you just letting you're not even letting them take you on a date for it. You just spreading. Let me stop. But you're doing too much. You're glazing, and you need to chill. All right, you about to bust that thing open for Rockstar. you was about to bust that thing open for Rockstar because you just want GTA 6 so bad. Stop it. Get some help. Get some help. Like, come on, bro. And last thing we're gonna talk about, I just want to take the time to I feel like I don't talk about my favorite games that I've played over the years. I just want to take a chill time, and just gush about a game that I love, or a game series. It could be just a singular game or a game series. And I think to start off, what better game to start off with than Kingdom Hearts? Kingdom Hearts, what my childhood loved and what adult me loves as well. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still a Kingdom Hearts kid on the inside. I remember seeing that first Kingdom Hearts trailer on my tiny ass 15-inch TV in the living room and seeing Simple and Clean play and wanting that game so bad, but I couldn't have it. I was, unfortunately I couldn't get it because we lived in a less I wouldn't say poverty, but closest poverty you can get. But when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, that's when I was finally able to get Kingdom Hearts 1 and get Kingdom Hearts 2 right after that. And let me tell you, that's probably one of the best experiences of my life when it comes to doing something for the first time. Playing a game for the first time, seeing all the lovable characters. Like, Sora is such a lovable character. Like, Riku it wasn't a lovable villain for a certain amount of time, but you can see you just I gotta save him. He's just going down the wrong path. He's not really a bad guy. I can fix him. I can fix him. I'm gonna stand beside him type shit. And Kairi, over the years, Kairi has become very unlikable to me just because of how useless she is. She's so useless in my opinion. She caused a lot of issues just by not being helpful. And then when she tried to be helpful, she still ends up failing and getting captured and almost killed. It's like, come on, come on, you trained for what? But you know, I loved Kairi when she was like sarcastic to Sora and stuff like that as well. The worlds, all the worlds, started from Destiny Islands, fighting Riku and beating him and losing and beating him and losing, and then finally getting the hang of it and just slaughter him. Fun times, seeing like like Final Fantasy characters on the island. Because back then, like I didn't know a lot of Final Fantasy characters, but I knew that it was a Square Enix game or a Square Soft game, and I knew like they had like Final Fantasy characters in it. Especially when I saw Cloud when he walked through the Coliseum, and that's probably Cloud's best outfit, by the way. Nobody want to talk about it because like it's a Kingdom Hearts game and people like to make fun of Kingdom Hearts, but that's definitely Cloud's best outfit. The red scarf, the black wing, the wrapped up bandages around his sword, his blade. Come on. Come on. It's clean as fuck. But yeah, all the first experiences you get from that game are amazing. Visiting every Disney world, every Final Fantasy world as well. Like the unique Final Fantasy world, like Traverse Town, fucking, you know, Hollow Bastion. Like those worlds stuck out to me so much. Like I wouldn't say that I'm a big Disney guy either. Like I like Disney movies like Lion King, Toy Story, you know, but I was never like a diehard Disney guy. Like if you show me a good Disney movie, I'll watch it, but I wasn't gonna watch like Sleeping Beauty and, you know, stuff like that. So playing this game and seeing like the different worlds, seeing different characters interact with outside characters. Come on now, it's like they're breaking the fourth wall by being there, and we're watching them like through a different wall. It's kind of meta to a certain extent, but I love it nonetheless. And the gameplay, my God, some of the funnest gameplay in gaming. Like it's a simple like thought process. It's a beat 'em up. You got a little menu system in the corner. You got your magic spells that you can set up to like, you know, to a quick slot button or a quick use button, I should say. And Kingdom Hearts just does it so well. Everything feels like hood. Like here's somebody with a fat ass key. Beat, beat, beat. Yeah. Like Kingdom Hearts is such a fun gameplay experience, and it can be difficult as fuck. Because let me tell you, some of those bosses like on hard or critical mode, Dark Souls style shit. Dark Souls style bosses. And I remember on Kingdom Hearts 1, doing the Coliseum, and then you fight freaking Sephiroth. Let me tell you how hard that was, bro. Especially when you under level, cause you don't know what level you supposed to be when you fight Sephiroth, and he just mollywop you. Now Kingdom Hearts 2 Sephiroth, he could have been better, but Kingdom Hearts 1 Sephiroth, that's a tough bastard right there. Now, I know a lot of people, you know, favorite is Kingdom Hearts 2, which mine as well. Don't get me wrong. And I know a lot of people shit on Kingdom Hearts 3. I am a Kingdom Hearts 3 supporter. I won't say stan, but I think Kingdom Hearts 3 does things better than Kingdom Hearts 2 and 1. For example, I think the world design is way better in Kingdom Hearts 3 than any other Kingdom Hearts game. It's amazing. They've improved on world design so much, not just graphics, but how the worlds are just like more expansive, more detailed, more like, you know, unique to every world. It feels great. Like the also the heartless and the nobodies, whatever they call it, I guess, in every game feel unique, especially in Kingdom Hearts 3. The scale of everything is massive. Being in the city for Big Hero 6, amazing. And in Toy Story 2, the scale of everything when you're so small is amazing. Like they nail certain aspects that I think people overlook because there are some things that could have been better. Like for example, there should not be like the Disney ride stuff in that game. That is like the worst things in that game. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to use them. In fact, I think a lot of people turn them off. Like it's such a waste of time. Also, people are obsessed with the forums. I don't know why they just didn't do another version of the forums. Technically, I think the Keyblades are good. I think they're fun. I think they're great, in fact. But I would be lying if I said they were better than the Valor final, you know, the forms from Kingdom Hearts 2. I'll be lying. And I feel like they should just improved upon that. The Keyblade should have did different things in different forms, you know what I'm saying? And every form should have been viable to a certain extent. I know at a certain point, once you get like Ultimate or Final Form, you don't need anything else. The funnest form to me was the Heartless form, because you get to do, all these fast combos, even though it's high risk, high reward type stuff. But once you get Final Form, you don't need any other form. Let's be honest. So like, I feel like in Kingdom Hearts 3, they should have improved upon that, the form system, and expand upon that. Maybe give them like its own little leveling system that's like more expansive and more skills. But all in all, like Kingdom Hearts 3 Keyblades are still good. Like people just need to I think people just grew up and realized that maybe Kingdom Hearts hasn't grown up with them, which why would it? Because it's still technically a kid's game. It's still technically a game revolving around, a kid trying to find his friends. It's nothing's gonna really change about it. It's an anime. Basically, it's an anime style story. So I get why people might not be, fucking with like they was as a kid. But that doesn't mean like it's that much worse than 2 and 1. Because I personally did not enjoy Birth by Sleep that much, because I felt like the worlds were lackluster. The world choices were also lackluster. The characters didn't get good towards the end. Everybody just felt bland for most of their story until they actually got to the final, the rising moment and the climax of their stories. So I didn't really fall in love with Aqua until at the end of her story. I didn't really like Terra or feel for Terra until the end of his story. Same thing with Ventus. Like, that's why I think Birth by Sleep is like probably, it's not the worst Kingdom Hearts game, but it's like my least favorite when it comes to that. I wasn't a big fan of the DS Roxas game either. Like, there are certain aspects of Kingdom Hearts that's like, everybody has their entry point, and they have certain favorites because that's like, what they, grew up with. Like, I like Rechain of Memories, the card version of Kingdom Hearts. They have a different card system where you like build a deck, stuff like that. I think that's fun. Building a deck in that game was fun. But I also know people hate that game. And, that's the good part about Kingdom Hearts, and the bad part about Kingdom Hearts. There's a variety of stuff, a variety of gameplay changes, but there's also like no real focus because they want to have such uniqueness, like a Nintendo type thing. Like Nintendo likes gimmicks and changes it up from time to time, or often, in fact. And I feel like with the Kingdom Hearts series, they change stuff up too often, and because they released on so many different platforms because of Nintendo. Like Kingdom Hearts 1 was on PS2, Kingdom Hearts 2 was on PS2, and Rechain of Memory, which is a remake of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, was on PS2. Now, Chain of Memories was on fucking Game Boy Advance, and then you have 365, 368 by 2, or so, whatever the game's called, was on DS. There's another one that's on DS, I believe. I might be mistaken, like Recoded or something like that. But that's a remake as well. No, it's on 3DS. Coded was on a cell phone. Like Kingdom Hearts Coded was on a cell phone. Insane. And then like Dream Drop This was on 3DS. Like so many different games were on so many different platforms that how was anybody supposed to keep up with the story when they're all separated like that? That's probably the main issue with the Kingdom Hearts franchise, back in the day at least. Because now you can get a whole collection with everything. But back in the day, they were so spread out that of course people was going to be saying, I don't understand Kingdom Hearts story at all. I don't get it. What is going on with this story? So like, they shot themselves in their foot and they deserved it. They deserved all the hate that came along with it. But Kingdom Hearts 2 is complicated, but it's not to the point where you can't follow along to a certain extent. Right? Sora looking for his friend, trying to save his friends. There's different hearts, and heart has power. And after that it becomes more complicated, but not too complicated where if you're playing every game in order, you wouldn't be able to follow along. But if you didn't play every game in order, like most people didn't play every game in order, because if you went from Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2, you'd be like, how the fuck did Sora end up in this fucking pod? How did he end up in this pod and why is he here? So you wouldn't even fucking know. So that's the problem, because Chain of Memories is a direct sequel to Kingdom Hearts 1, and you would not know that unless you was like locked in. So like that's the issue with Kingdom Hearts, like at least back in the day. Now You have a collection with the order in it. You have people who will tell you the order. It's an internet age. Everybody has social media and stuff like that, so you can easily find out the order and like the direct like storyline if you want to. But with Kingdom Hearts 4 actually been a thing, actually been announced, I wonder what direction they're going in, because the Xehanort story is over with Kingdom Hearts 3. I feel like the Xehanort, thing was drug on a little bit too long, in fact. But it ended okay enough. Xehanort final fight was dope. The scale of it, seeing the big heart in the sky as well. It was fun, but it definitely ended shonen anime like, where like, oh, the big baddie asked for forgiveness and got it, and went on away, like he went on to heaven or something like that. Like, it was like, I don't know. I expected like more of a like, I'll never forgive you, I'll burn in hell, and I'll never forgive you type ending, but it is what it is, with how complicated the story got at a certain point, and it took a little bit of dusting off the unnecessary parts to like, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. So, but it does take hundreds of hours to understand the story. Don't get me wrong, I will never say it's not complicated. It's just not as complicated as people like to make it seem like. But it's definitely complicated if you have to play a game hundreds of hours to understand what's going on. Because I can say the same thing about like something like World of Warcraft. Like, you have to play hundreds of hours to understand what's going on. Final Fantasy 14, you gotta play hundreds of hours to understand what's going on. People can tell you what's going on, but at the end of the day, you will miss a lot of details, a lot of intricate parts where like you will still not understand what fully is going on. So, I think people need to stop digging on Kingdom Hearts when it comes to the complicated story part, but they never will. But I guess that's my little rant about one of my favorite games. I feel like Kingdom Hearts is like one of my first, besides like Resident Evil, which I might talk about next episode. It's one of my first experiences of like falling in love with a game and constantly falling in love over and over again over the years, playing multiple of these games, the sequels, playing the games again. Like, it's one of my first loves in gaming, and it deserves its flowers with how complicated the story can get sometimes. But I guess that's it for this episode of the Today I Played podcast. You know what I'm saying? I had fun. I was just ranting a lot. I want to apologize for that. It was probably like mumbo jumbo a lot in this. I might have to edit it a little bit, but it was fun. And yeah, enjoy your holiday season. Enjoy Christmas. If it's come out on Christmas, it might come out on Christmas. So enjoy Christmas. Enjoy New Year's Eve. I might be posting on New Year's Eve if God's willing, or whoever's willing, whoever's listening is willing. And yeah. Thank you for listening, and thanks for stopping by. Peace.